We're back with our 90-day challenge of taking Zot, a bronze ADC, all the way to diamond in just 90 days. In last week's episode, we saw as Zot finally hit Emerald for the first time after nearly an entire month of struggling in Platinum Hell. It was a big moment for him.
Nice, finally, man. Feels good.
The grind was finally starting to pay off, and Zot was on cloud 9. You could see it in his gameplay. His confidence was back, his mechanics looked clean, and for the first time in forever, Diamond actually felt within reach.
Maybe I can get Diamond.
His laning had improved, his team fighting was getting there, and his farming was top tier. But then, the solo queue gods had other plans. He lost his next 2 games after promotion on Caitlyn. That happens. But after losing to a Twitch, Zot thought, why not try Twitch out himself? And the game was going great. He was popping off, making plays all around the map. But we all know how this story goes, right? Just like that, Zot speed ran straight back to Platinum in just 3 games. And because Ranked is basically designed to break your mental, the losses didn't stop there. And like we all know, when it comes to solo queue, when it rains, it pours. And before he knew it, Zot had spiraled all the way back down to Platinum 2. But our story can't end here. And this week, a switch flipped. Something in Zot clicked. Dare I even say, a miracle happened. Zot didn't just climb back to Emerald, he blasted through all the way to Emerald 2, all off the back of Hector's lesson. But here's the thing. Up to this point, Hector had given Zot pretty much everything he needed to reach Diamond. And to be fair, Zot's been doing his part. He's practicing, he's improving, and yeah, he trolls sometimes, but overall, he's playing well. So why isn't he climbing faster? It's not that Hector's advice was wrong, it's that Zot was missing one crucial piece. Core of what actually makes these lessons work. The thing that matters the most. Take an FPS like CSGO or Valorant. Sure, there's a ton a good player could teach you. Smoke lineups, rush timing, the best angles to hold, whatever. But when it really comes down to it, what's the one thing that determines how well you do? It's your aim. Plain and simple. Same goes for a game like World of Warcraft. You've got boss mechanics in PvE, positioning and matchups in PvP, cooldown tracking, the list goes on. But again, what actually matters the most? Your damage or your healing. So what do you think the equivalent is for League? Mechanics? Team fighting? Maybe even macro? Nope, wrong. It's actually far simpler than you would think. Speed. And this is something Hector explained to Zot in their lesson.
A big issue I've noticed is that people tend to think you need to play much smarter as you climb higher and higher in elo. This just isn't true though. Most challenger players, including myself, we tend to play on pure autopilot for most of the game, making very simple decisions. The difference is that challengers are simply faster and do more than you. Think about it like this. If I do 2 things on the map, like getting the mid wave and clearing a ward, that is obviously more valuable than the player just farming a single wave. You really don't need to overthink your decisions in League. You just need to do more on the map, and to do that, you need to play faster.
Most of you watching don't really consider the value of doing something quicker, but you already kind of understand it. For example, think about how bad it feels to stand in the fountain and wait for 20 gold. Well, that only takes 10 seconds, but feels like an absolute eternity. Or on the flip side, think about when you have an empowered recall compared to the normal one. It's only 4 seconds quicker, but it feels so much better, right? And there's a reason whenever you tune into any of these pros streaming their matches with comms, all you hear is tempo, 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 tempo. But as Hector taught Zot in this week's lesson, there's one aspect of League where being fast is going to make all the difference.
Now, there's a lot of ways to go about this. You can increase your efficiency in like a billion ways. I kind of hinted at it in a second there. But the main thing we want to optimize is waves. Why? Because they spawn every 30 seconds. I'm sure like this entire journey is literally me telling you wave, 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 right?
Yeah.
The most important thing you can optimize in this game, you can optimize a lot, clearing jungle camps, spacing, killing towers, even killing enemy champions. You could like do it faster, but the thing that will help you the most is the thing you do the most. Clearing waves.
And if you feel like you've watched a ton of educational content to try and improve, yet like Zot end up hitting a brick wall, this video is one for you. But we do want to stress, this video alone is just a single step on the pathway to Diamond. To get the full experience and climb alongside Zot and the thousands of other players reaching their league goals this season, be sure to check out our full Bronze to Diamond course at skillcap.com. Anyways, back to the video, starting with step 1. This step is both the easiest and the most important. All you need to do is decide to go and kill a minion wave. Take this game here. Zot spawns, and if we're to take a look at the map, where do you think he should go? Top would be the obvious answer. And as this is something Hector has hammered in from day one of this journey, Zot starts to head up there. But then, the exact same thing that happens to every low elo player begins to kick in. He questions and starts to doubt himself. Oh, but my team are invading. What if they get caught and die? I am strong. I need to be there. What if they do Otacon? I shouldn't be top. So, Zot turns around and starts heading to the fight. Gets there, nothing happens, and he ends up farming mid. But from the time he spawned to the time he started doing something, over 30 seconds had passed of him doing absolutely nothing. If he just committed to top lane, he would have killed the wave, killed the one after, and already be pressuring the top tier 2. Something all challenger players do is constantly look for ways to pressure, and do it fast. In this clip from Zot and Hector's earpiece, Dragon's up and the enemy team has first move with some of Zot's team dead. So what does Zot do after clearing mid? He takes Scuttle, wanders around jungle, has a rest in the bot tri-bush, and only after Hector finally tells him to pressure something,
Get this bot lane wave, put pressure on them, put pressure on them, put pressure on them, fast, 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 fast.
does he finally move to the bot wave. But by then, it's too late. His team gets wiped at Dragon, and Zot gets caught right after. Now, imagine if Zot had kept pressuring mid, rotated top, or just committed to bot faster before the enemy team all got to Dragon. Any single one of them would have been fine. Doesn't matter. Now, they're panicking. Can Zot end? Who should be the one to go and stop him? Do they need more than one? Suddenly, the enemy is under pressure and forced to do something. And his own team feels less pressured as he's in a position to threaten ending the game. This is exactly why aggressive wave pushing never works out for low elo players. Not because it's a bad idea, but because instead of thinking about the effect it has on your opponent, you get stuck worrying about making the wrong decision and the effect it will have on your own team. You hesitate, you overthink, you get stuck in that moment of self-doubt, and by the time you act, it's already too late. Yeah, sometimes you'll make the wrong call, that's fine. But this hesitation, that's why you never get value from your push. Remember, if you have to think about whether to push a wave, you're already too late. Trust us, turn your brain off and commit. Because if your default mindset is to always push the wave, you'll stop wasting time, and even then, your bad decisions will end up with better outcomes. Alright, let's move on to step 2 of Hector's lesson, clearing minion waves fast. It might sound small, but it's one of the most overlooked and underrated skills in League. And weirdly enough, it takes a lot more skill and effort to do properly than most people think. Now, sure, some champs cheat. Take Sivir, for example. Press W, throw Q, wave gone. Easy. But not everyone has it that good. One champ Hector had Zot try recently is Jhin. And yeah, Zot hates it. Why? Because unless you're min-maxing every part of your wave clear, it just feels awful. Like in this clip, Zot's 8-2, he gets to the wave at 1910, and it still takes him 10 full seconds to clear it. Because of that, the wave doesn't crash. So now he has to clear another wave, which takes another 8 seconds. And by the time he's done, Xerath rotates down, and what was a free objective bounty is now harder to get. All because he was too slow clearing minions. Now, those of you keeping up with both this series and the content on the site already know how much emphasis Hector puts on this. It was even mentioned back in week 3.
Going to the next wave. Cue the wave. Okay, press W, cue the wave. I hit the tower. Wave, tower. Yes, good. W. Yeah. Perfect.
But simple things like making use of Misfortune's passive and W reset, or holding on to Trist E when taking turrets for the minion waves to arrive, Challenger and Pro players constantly take this to the extreme, and they truly know just how important every second in League can be. Just look at this example from Viper on Jhin. Just watch how little time he wastes. While reloading, he moves up into the next wave and throws his Q. Moves back in range to auto the turret while dropping an E on the melees as he Ws through the rest of the wave. He then continues to hit the turret while throwing his Q out on the melees, autos the cannon once to prep it for his Q, which then wipes out the rest of the wave and allows him to hold his 4th shot for even more turret damage. High-level players are always squeezing value out of every second. And wave clear, that's one of those things that seems simple until you realize how many tiny decisions go into it. But in this week's lesson, Hector found a way to make it as simple as possible.
The way I teach it these days, I think is the simplest, is you don't want to overkill minions, and that's your only goal when you go into a minion wave. So what do I mean by this is, let's say you notice your auto attacks do this much. Well, let's just take a look. That did like 25%. It's kind of hard to gauge, right? So 4 auto attacks would kill that melee minion. However, if there's minions attacking it, the minions are doing some chip damage, right? So 4 auto attacks perfectly would kill the minion, but 4 auto attacks plus some random chip damage from minions would not kill it perfectly. So how would you kill that minion?
You would want to do as little damage as possible to kill it.
Yeah,
so
you
you'd
want-
wait until it's 25% and kill it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be as close to 100% as possible to every minion kill, because that means you're not wasting damage. And if you're not wasting damage, it generally means you're killing the wave as fast as possible. Not always.
It's like maximizing your DPS on a wave, making the
Yes.
damage count.
So yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to hit this again until it's 25%. So this was like overkill. Even if I got that CS, it would have been overkill. Let's see here. This cannon, if I hit it again, I'm overkilling it because I'm doing more damage than required. So basically, usually the way you cheat this is with abilities like your W, or just letting your DPS hit the minions. So, okay, I'm just gonna let the minions hit this. Okay, I overkilled this one. Bad.
So, as you heard Hector say, it's really as simple as just not overkilling minions. That's it. You're not going to nail it every time, and that's fine. But just try to keep the concept in mind, because once you're aware of it, you'll start doing it subconsciously. And as a result, your wave clear will over time get faster. Which brings us to step 3. Here, we've got Zot on his now trademark Corki. Seeing that Dragon is happening, he pushes in bot, quickly nabs the plate, and then moves into river. Recognizing nothing is happening just yet, and with Hector's lessons in the back of his mind, he knows that he should make sure he has his first move on the next minion wave to get priority. But can you notice his mistake? For a clue, think of where he's most likely going to be heading after killing this wave. Yep, more than likely back to Dragon. But look where Zot is positioned. And as a result, once he sees Belvath fighting the Udyr, he gets there a couple of seconds late. She has her W back and unfortunately escapes. He then flashes in, Belvath gets saved by Lulu, and he dies. All because he wasn't thinking about step 3, posturing. Zot and many other low elo players will very often clear a wave, pause, and be like, now what? And much like step 1, this has a super simple fix. Just start moving toward where you think you'll want to be while you're clearing the wave. That might be toward a fight, an objective, a jungle camp, or even the next minion wave. And of course, Hector caught Zot making this exact mistake during one of their earpieces.
Hit who you can and kite. Hit who you can and kite. You have lethal tempo, remember. That's so funny. I was gonna tell you to flash the bind, but I didn't want to like overwhelm you.
Woo! After somehow turning getting caught into a double kill, absolute genius level bait, obviously, Zot then walks up to grab a plate.
I don't know if you can get 2 plates. Walk up and queue. Walk up and queue. Should be queuing this immediately. Not the best queue, but sure. You shouldn't be hitting those small ones. Why? Because your queue would have finished them off anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see? Now you're kind of behind on. You can maybe fight this though.
No! One more auto!
But instead of posturing for the next wave or even thinking about it, he just kind of vibes, making the mistake of failing step 1, 2, and even 3 by failing to queue the wave as it comes, taking forever to clear it, and giving Jinx just enough time to respawn, sprint bot, and pick up a free kill. Beautiful stuff, Zot. Oh, and the best part, during all of this, you would have heard Hector say this.
I was gonna tell you to flash the bind, but I didn't want to like overwhelm you.
Woo! Well, fast forward just a few minutes, and Hector probably should have remembered his own advice.
Nice. Yeah, hit him. Just hit them. I flash out of the like E and flash. Okay, I never want to tell you what to do again. I don't ever want to tell you what to do again.
I don't know, you said flash! So I flashed, I don't know what I was flashing.
Funny, sometimes Zot listens a little too well. Sometimes he doesn't listen at all.
God. Oh no. I died.
He's dead. Don't die to him on the... He's looking to trade with you.
No, I died.
That's my fault.
And other times, not listening somehow works out.
No. You're over chasing. Nice. Okay, never mind.
I swear you troll me.
Not like you were definitely over chasing, by the way.
But that's really what this whole series is about. Real coaching, real mistakes, and somehow real progress, with a side of Hector slowly losing his mind. So if you're hard stuck and actually want to get better while watching someone else make all the mistakes for you, there's a reason players are saying this is the most educational and accidentally entertaining series Skill Capped has ever released. And for just $9 a month, you get access to everything: the full-length lessons, the earpieces, the VOD reviews, all of it. Best of all, if you don't improve at least 5 divisions, which is an entire rank by the way, while actively using our service, you'll get every penny back. So check the link in the description below for an exclusive discount and start your climb today. And hey, if Zot can do it, you definitely can. Anyways, back to the video. When it comes to posturing, your first worry is probably going to be, what if I don't know where to go next? Well, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows where to go next at all times. And no, not even Faker. It's perfectly okay to not know where to go next. All we're saying is just practice by picking somewhere. Be that the next wave, the jungle, a fight, whatever. And then just posture towards it as you kill the minions. If it's not the best decision, it's fine. Just carry on with your day. You barely lose anything. But if you're correct, you get to where you want to go a few seconds earlier, which, as we know, could make all the difference. But that's exactly what we're trying to teach with this guide. Alone, each of these steps could maybe result in just a mere couple of seconds of improvement.
This mentality is usually why most of the player base doesn't value playing fast nearly as much as they should. Oftentimes, you're saving 2 or 3 seconds, which didn't really do anything. You got no value out of it, so why even bother? But the point of this whole lesson is that saving 3 seconds here, 5 seconds there, 4 seconds later, 2 seconds after that, it's going to add up, and you will eventually be in one of those specific moments where being fast actually gave you a game-winning advantage.
But yeah, with Zot wrapping up this week in Emerald 2, we're officially on the home stretch. Maybe, just maybe, Diamond isn't just a dream anymore. It might actually be within reach. But with only 30 days left, Hector's going to have to pull out all the stops. So buckle up, and we'll see you in the next episode.